stands right now. We'll take a little bit of time to get there because we've got to focus on this one. Mr. E versus Sinji. These two play a decent amount. I believe that Mr. E has the positive record on Sinji, but they go relatively even.
I always label Sinji as an E counter, honestly.
Soft counter. A lot of
yeah, but like a counter nonetheless.
Yes.
Like I would normally, if I'm like putting money on these guys, like if I'm forced to put money on these guys, I would kind of put it on Sinji, just because like I feel like his playstyle is such a counterplay to E's very existence.
Yeah, it's actually similar to Numbers in a way. Because, like, the thing is,
yeah, totally.
It's very similar to Numbers. Like, look at the way that Sinji will put himself off stage to charge up his projectile. Because he's totally comfortable with being on the ledge. Honestly, Sinji's becoming new Numbers. Like, look at how often he does that.
That's scary.
And because Mr. E is so centered around punishing people at the ledge, it's like when you take away pretty much his greatest strength, he's all of a sudden at a loss for exactly how to approach a matchup.
You see, aside from the style of play, I feel like the way that both of these players approach Smash 4 as a whole is very much a counter to each other, where Sinji is very much on the technical side of things, having labbed Pac-Man near to his limits. Meanwhile, Mr. E, a true prodigy of playing by intuition, someone who just has such a great feeling for the game that it's able to put him at such a high level of play. It really goes to show a very large difference in philosophy, but also like how well it works out for these players, as they're both very skilled players who represent New York well.
Knowing that you talk about intuition, it can be so hard to just, based on, you know, the way it naturally feels to play against a Pac-Man. He kind of functions unlike any other Smash character. So many weird gimmicks that if you're not ready for, it can just really give you a hard time. And right now, Sinji, he's down in percent, but Mr. E cannot get comfortable, you know. Pac-Man, although he can struggle to kill, can still get some pretty early stocks, especially with that bell and key, if Mr. E is not careful.
While Pac-Man certainly does have one of the most unorthodox kits in, I would dare say, Smash history, it does go without saying that ultimately all of those tools just help with Sinji being able to put his opponents back in the trap. This is a trap projectile character. All of that setup comes with huge payoff, except for when you're setting up against yourself, where Mystery is able to take an excellent advantage over Pac-Man's own tools and take the first stock.
Sinji going for a fake out? No way. Okay, he couldn't.
He did it.
He did.
He went and did it.
Here's a question. Do you survival DI at the instant of getting hit by the bell, or once you get launched?
Gonna have to hit the lab on that one. I'm almost certain it's at the moment of hit because that is what's launching you. But hey,
yeah,
one way or the other, it is Sinji who managed to get that stock in a very peculiar way. I feel very fitting of the discussion at hand.
Yeah, and right now, okay, Sinji has this lead, and this is something where Mr. E has been very calm and collected, but now we're starting to see Sinji, it's like he's pushing his buttons, and Mr. E is pushing buttons in response, trying to throw out these hitboxes, and Sinji is one of those players where when you start getting too aggressive, when he knows that you're just like, God dang it, I just want to hit him, that's when he really capitalizes. The back air there actually going to close out a really early stop.
Pac-Man taking the game 1 over Lucina. I'll be honest, I don't expect any character switch out of Mystery. I feel like this Lucina's staying the whole way. Though he has been practicing his Cloud more, so the potential's there. Either way, I don't know if Smashville is going to be a proper choice for E. It is going to be where he's running it back. However, I feel like this is a stage that Sinji has grown very much accustomed to being able to control. And because he's so comfortable on how he can control Smashville, how easily he's able to contest the moving platform, and how well these ledges allow Pac-Man to gain so much advantage, I feel like it gives him that much more room to breathe, to stay calm, collected, and creative, which can be very dangerous in the hands of someone who has such a strong understanding of Pac-Man's kit.
Look at how much damage, like, Mr. E is falling victim to a lot of these, like, he's fine now. Okay.
No, yeah, this is Pac-Man. Pac-Man's recovery is still kind of nice. Let's not sleep on it.
Yeah, as long as he doesn't have to use that third trampoline, he usually is pretty fine. Okay, but right now, Sinji still has this lead, and you're seeing that Mr. E is getting caught by a lot of these Sinji traps that perhaps, you know, more like regular New York staples wouldn't really fall for. But it's that, seems like that matchup unfamiliarity, even after all these years, is really paying dividends for Sinji, as Mr. E is not really able to lock him down in any way. Sinji just stands dancing around him.
He's not going to be able to get a kill with that up smash, but I feel like it really goes to show just the kind of control that Sinji has in this neutral. While Mr. E is dictating where the fights are taking place, these trades are coming more and more in favor of Sinji. However, this interaction on the platform isn't going to be taking any stocks. However, it goes to show that if Sinji doesn't have that time to set up, where is all of this control that Pac-Man can garner, and how much of it can be taken away by Lucina?
A nice neutral air from Sinji, putting Mr. E off stage. Mr. E looking for some type of opening. And right now, wow, Sinji throwing out all of these back airs, being surprisingly aggressive with his hitboxes, despite the lead that he has. Mr. E seems to be slowing down the pace of the match, and Sinji is turning it up in response.
Sinji wants to make sure that he's the one who's dictating the neutral of this game at whatever turn, and in such a strange launch angle, the back air is sending Mr. E to the opposite side of the field. Not going to be killing just yet and leaving him more than enough max rage.
Can we talk about the air dodge that Mr. E still managed to get out? Oh!
What is happening?
I'm not exactly sure, but Mr. E is at 183%. Even though he's literally about 100% higher than Sinji, Sinji has to be careful about dying himself at this moment, considering all the rage that Mr. E has on his body.
That's a very angry Falchion wielder, and that's exactly what's going to happen with an angry Falchion wielder, as that back air, while not even close to the ledge, still managing to be able to kill and just chuck him upwards, and we're going stock for stock right away.
That is one of the advantages of having the worst grab in the game, which is that when you're respawning, why would your opponent do anything but shield?
You know, despite how, there's a good reason for how terrible that grab is when you really consider all of the shield pressure that Pac-Man can provide. You ever realize just how much Sinji's keeping his opponent in shield with all of that projectile pressure, with how quickly he's able to zone in on his opponent with all of those aerial normals? This character's scary, man. He smiles the entire way through.
Except when he's charging, then he goes all whole. But right now, we actually have Mr. E taking the lead, despite Sinji having an amazing start to this game too. It seems like right now he's sitting at 98%, definitely at death percent from, say, a forward smash or an up smash. And Sinji's starting to be aware of that. What a fake out right there. Oh, get me out of there.
Just looking to use the water movement, get himself away safely while still having the time to operate his resources. Oh! Yo, who needs text? Who needs text? Look at that. That smile. That was a big grin as he's coming back, but he's going to be going right into a forward air.
He had to go too high for that side B, and the interception from Mr. E taking him out, bringing us to a game 3.
That's some Looney Tunes action right there. This man was dead 3 times over. Look at it. Bounce once. Try and take him. He's still hopping away. He's getting away merry. All of a sudden, that's a nice forward air.
Did he go side B?
She can be, and even though it was an excellent way to avoid Lucina's area of death, it just wasn't enough. So moving ourselves back to Town and City for Game 3.
And I've seen Sinji appreciate this stage more and more. You know, those smaller blast zones might help him out with the stock taking issues. You know, that last game, he had to take a stock at up throw at 190. Smaller blast zones all around might help him there, and especially if he's able to just maintain a solid percent lead like he is right now.
Sinji's making this Galaxian ship work out for him, having 93 in counting as he controls center stage with a fire hydrant, has plenty of time to get his resources up, and Mystery really hasn't been able to touch this wall that Sinji has built up here into Game 3.
Is that going to be it? That is a crucial stock that Sinji just took.
Yo, is he awake? Someone ring my boy. He's got to come here to finish the set.
Oh, man. And when Sinji has this kind of lead, he can really play to his strengths. He can take all the time in the world he needs to get his setups. He can, you know, basically, he doesn't have to commit that hard to any of his approaches, because as long as he can get out, he can just go back and try again when he has this much room to work with.
And it is worth reminding people that Sinji is one half of the equation as to why you don't naturally see best of 5 here at Xeno. He's part the reason. And him holding on to these stocks as well as he can, certainly going to assert that. However, Mystery's going to have none of that. He's reminding you that this is a best of 3 set, and he's looking to clean up shop here in the last stocks.
Yeah, despite that huge lead that Sinji had right now, the stocks are even about 50% separating them, and when we think about the respective kill percents of these two characters, it's essentially even. Ooh, okay, a mistech not working out too badly. Wow, just decides to use that opportunity to get Bell in hand once again, as Mr. E is now at 98%. Can't seem to get anything started on Sinji.
Lots of percentage being built up, but Sinji is spending a lot of this current stock running away, and he just wastes his jump while looking to pressure Sinji, and it's going to be a fatal mistake.
Was that the water? Did
No.
the water push him?
No, he just jumped. He just
He
jumped
down
over.
aired the hydrant. Did the water push him ever so
There's no
slightly
water
to
there
the
yet.
side? There was no water?
No, yeah, he just miscalculated his aerial approach and dies for it. And Sinji takes a very climactic set in an anticlimactic fashion.